Oh, by the way, we had to restart the whole recording, fortunately, due to some technical errors and issues. But shit happens. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you so much for doing this, man.
Yeah, thank you for
Okay,
inviting
so
me.
this is a second start, a restart. Yeah, so I think we were just kind of catching up, and maybe we'll talk a little bit more about your the history and all that. But we're talking about our good friend Sel also. Shout out to Sel. Hopefully, I can get you on a podcast one of these days. And the one of the main things that I've been doing on this whole series, I've been talking to people who are behind the scenes, lah. Right? I'm not talking. Yeah, it's nice to always cool to maybe talk to celebrity, famous people. But my interest is I want to talk to people who are behind the scenes, people who are the engineers, who are the producers, who are the musicians, who are people who are the support, because this is basically I would call we are colleagues lah. We are the brothers in arms who are doing all the work behind the scene. And my fascination is to hear the different stories and the different interesting topics that they might have. And that's why I want to sit down with you and sort of correct sikit lah, on the cool and interesting subjects of that you teach, especially with the VR AR world. Yeah. I don't know where I would even begin to broach that subject, man. So best to leave it to the cikgu, the teacher. Yeah. Maybe let's start, just introduce yourself to everyone who's watching or listening to this.
Right, so my name is Razif Mohamed, but my friends call me Ajib, in short. And how do I start this? I was in a band. I think I'm still in a band, and it's called Kluk Kluk Adventure. We play ska, and in every band there's one guy who will always be interested in doing the recording part of stuff, the technology, and that guy is me. So eventually it leads up to having the experience of doing like music composition, sound effects for games and TV, and also some commercials, largely for games, casual games like flash games at that time. So it's not that complicated. It's not like the same league as those people like FARC. So those are AAA type of game. Mine is very basic, straightforward, casual games, but they are games nonetheless. So I had that experience, and then leads to something else, which is like AR, VR, and interactive stuff like interactive production. Yep, and now I'm teaching in Taylor's University, but I'm not a music lecturer. I'm a kind of like a interactive multimedia type of lecturer. So I teach mobile application, games, web, and AR, and also VR.
It's very cool, yeah.
And sound design. That's the only sound-related subject that I'm teaching.
That's super, super cool, man. But I know exactly what you mean by every band. There will always be with that. Usually, that one member who kind of gravitates towards the. Usually, the one who has the equipment.
Yes.
So it's like, because you got the equipment, okay, you are going to be the one who's going to be the engineer / producer / whatever, and then you the one who
absolutely.
And then I know exactly. I talked to a lot of people who get into this. That's quite often their story if they're in a band. That's how they got into it And the gaming thing is interesting. That's cool. The offline, the Google offline. I'm not sure whether people can see it. The Google
Google Dinosaur. When you get offline in the browser, you can play the game, right?
Yeah, Flash games. And whatever happened to Flash?
It died off.
I mean, I remember the days of those Flash websites. Or Flash games. Not even the games are just even like websites where you can you can explore here and there. click here, click there, go there.
Yeah, those time people experiment a lot. Yeah, so when they find that tools, they can use that to build website and come up with creative animated type of website and interactive type website. I think people experiment a lot, and at the same time, it was chaotic. Because you see a lot of different type of design and different type of interaction. But I don't know, but for me, it was fun to be able to explore that, right?
Nowadays, I don't know. Nowadays, website, the user experience thing. I don't know all those UI, UX, and all those buzzwords. I have a nephew of mine who's studying and doing this. It's like, okay, well, these cool.
So he's doing UX design, is it?
He's doing UX. So now websites are. Is it fair to say that they are like a lot simpler? In terms of like even the mobile friendly. So, the way to navigate is simple. You always have the 3 lines, 3 dot thing.
So basically, due to UX, is all about the ease of use, right? For people. And therefore, there are certain patterns that people are familiar with. So therefore, when we design something, it's always some sort of like adhere to that kind of pattern. So that's why you see similarities in terms of design. Because there's no point doing something which is so complicated or so complex, so revolutionary, but people won't be able to use it properly, right? So now we end up with something which is similar all the time.
I mean, every website kind of looks like a copy paste of each other, or based on this template of that. So a bit sedih also lah.
Last time you don't have this like macam standard template for website, like must have a big header, right, and then middle, and then you have 2 columns or whatever. So it always looks the same because the structure is the same. Last time it's like very adventurous. People do all sort of stuff without having to care about the user in mind.
But I guess that's where things go headed now. They try to balance everything lah. The ease of use. Yet on the other hand, there is the creativity and the artistic.
I mean, different purpose. And nowadays everything wants to be quick, fast, accessible. Again, so it has to be that way.
And I miss the old days. And speaking of old days, you are doing something right now, trying to revive something, and this is, I think you know what I'm talking about, the iBands website. And you want to share a little bit on what iBands was in the past, and what do you try to do right now?
Okay, so in the past, I think this is the time where we don't have Facebook and MySpace. It's not the time of social media. This is Web 2.0. Forums,
forums, bulletin board.
2.0 or 1.0, I'm not sure. But this is the days of forums. So in that time, there's no avenue for our local musician, bands and artists to share their music. We don't have YouTube also, right, that time. Do we have YouTube?
I don't think so. YouTube only was 08, 09, 07, 08.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I think it's before that.
Yep.
Yeah. So looking at that,
we're already so we're dating ourselves.
Yeah. So looking at that, we noticed, me and my friend Sam, we noticed that there's a need for a place for people to just gather and share their music. Doesn't matter whether it's good or not. We just have it up, right? So it's kind of like doing a Facebook thingy, lah.
Yep.
So we came up with iBands. So the concept is like what you have nowadays, abundance of it already. It's just for bands to be able to create an account, a profile, for them to upload music, upload their bio, and so on. And basically like what Facebook is today, they have their page, their profile, and they don't need, because last time when you want to build a website, you have to learn HTML and CSS, right? So it's very complicated process. Only a few people will be able to build proper website. So with that in mind, that the tools that we have will allow people to have their own page. So without knowing the technicalities on how to do it. But there is limitation because at that time, space is expensive. Server space.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you want to upload songs, 3 megabyte, 5 megabyte nowadays, so it will be easily taking up the space and will cost a lot. So we kept the quality to be like macam every band can upload only 3 songs maximum, like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. And then they have the option to upload low fidelity and high fidelity audio, right? So it's up to them lah to manage their own space.
Well, by right, you should cap to 3 songs anyway. Your 3 best songs.
Yeah.
No one wants to listen to your
The whole
crappy,
the whole 10 songs.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but it received a lot of support lah, because at first our mindset is that the audience should be bands and artists, but eventually we noticed that there's a lot of enthusiasts that come and use iBand. There's a one-man band, solo artists, right? So they came and upload their songs there. Yeah. And then I think altogether we have like 20,000 plus songs uploaded on iBands before we shut down.
iBands was great. It was awesome, man, because it was a resource where you can get to know and then discover local music. Right.
True.
Local, some regional also, right? Some regional as well. That was one of the ways that I used iBands to sort of look for. Especially when you start a career, to kind of look for prospects, exactly. Hit up all the bands, and then listen to the stuff, and then say like, hey, wow, I like your stuff. You ever just connect with the bands. So I was one of the people who really benefited from iBands.
At that time it was convenient because there's I would say there's none like it for local lah, at least kan. So it's easy to like you said to contact the band and so on. And then MySpace came out and then we died. we eventually died off because MySpace got music section where people upload their music, right? So then eventually we died off, and also because of the cost. If I want more people to upload more songs, then I have to spend more on space, and that time space is really expensive. Yeah.
I mean, is really firmly in my memory lah. iBands, Jam Tank. These were 2 awesome forums, man. Your Jam Tank, of course, was more towards the classifieds, and you're talking about the
discussion and all
the stuff. What iBands really focused on, right? It highlighted and showcased a lot of the actual bands and their music.
Yeah.
But cost of keeping and maintaining the forums basically was all out of your own pocket, right? Because
it is. The thing about local music is no matter what area you do, there's no money in it.
Yeah.
You're running a studio. There's very little money in it. I've done that, and I would like to say that yes, it is very little money coming in. Doing iBands is even lesser money coming in because you need advertiser that targeting the niche market there. So you really need distributor or something related to bands and artists, right? And sometimes some of them a bit skeptical to advertise on iBands, except for one company, 2 companies too. They consistently advertise on iBands.
Is it Guitar Store?
No, it's not Guitar Store. It's
Guitar Collection.
No, it's one is MIDI specialist. It's not related to music, but they are doing. No. At that time they do sell like home recording gears, right? ESI, and then there's another guy.
I remember MIDI specialist, man. Yeah, because one of my first audio interfaces I got was an ESI from them.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
my first interface, really proper interface, was also ESI. I think I had that too, advertiser, which is constantly advertised.
Was ROTTW also
advertised?
Advertising?
ROTTW advertised as kind of like partnership. I advertised. I did their chart. So I published the chart on iBands, and then they do their my chart on ROTTW, if I'm not mistaken.
I see. Yeah. So it's like more like cross promotion lah.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Man, but it's nostalgia, man. It's like a trip down memory lane. Yeah. Nostalgia of the good old days. I was just before this, kind of looking back and then listening to some of the old Kluk Kluk Adventure stuff, And then I saw one, the Rock the World.
Rock the World 7. That's the only Rock the World that we played.
Yeah. You know, but I couldn't see. I couldn't see you in the video. Is it because of the?
Because I'm the keyboardist. The
Yeah.
keyboardist is always at the back.
Yeah, and the camera angle was always. It's like
It's always towards the guitarist and vocalist, right? Yeah.
And it was at that tree. That's
Yeah.
all. So it's like can't see the rest of the
Yeah,
band.
I'm
The rest of the band
way
is
at
like,
the back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like okay lah. No, never mind. Nowadays the way that they handle is much better already lah. You know. So it's like sayang man.
Yeah.
It's like
So yeah, from that, I think I only have like few pictures of me there. That's only is taken by my brother at that time. So not many pictures.
Yeah, Rock the World 7. And I'm hearing some buzz on the word that Rock the World is coming back.
Oh yeah, I heard about that as well.
Yeah. Actually, Jason, Low actually posted on his Twitter. Oh, we are planning something, and so it's like, hey, Jason, shout out, Yeah. You better gotta get him on this as well, and get the inside scoop on what he's doing.
Yep.
Yeah. So hey, yeah. Any plans on what's happening with the band right now?
Kluk Kluk.
How you say it?
It's on hiatus. I don't know. If there's a gig, there's a gig. If there's no gig, we're not looking. So it's just like that, lah.
Right.
Yeah. So So
I know how you feel, right? It's exactly the same in your shoes right now.
Uh-huh.
So if there's a gig, lah, no?
Yep.
Yeah. But any plans to put out material and all that?
Yeah, we have talked about it for quite some time now. It's like year after year after year we plan, but it didn't happen yet. Yeah, because I think few years back we tried to get new lineup for the band, right? So me, Kita still in the band, and then we have Congo playing the bass, but Congo is in JB, so because of that split, it's quite hard to jam and so on to come up with new material together. So then we have a sessionist bassist here, but we wouldn't call it bassist sessionist. Like if we were thinking like if the gig is in KL, then we're going to call up this friend of ours to play the bass. If it's in JB, then we get Congo to play the bass. That's it lah.
Yeah.
But then after a while, it didn't go that well because I think personally for me, I find it very difficult to spend time to redo everything again, like going to jamming, practice, and again getting back the chemistry together, because we started the band as friends, right? So that's the bond of the band. So I can't see myself with other band members that other than the one that we met earlier together. Because we went through many things, right? So the band is different. So even there's time when I tried to form different band or join other band. After few jamming session, I don't feel right. There's something like made me I can't do this. I cannot do this. So I need to be with the original lineup. Yeah, so that's the story lah with Kluk Kluk Adventure. Then again, like what I mentioned earlier, if there's a gig, then we get together. If there's no, we're not looking.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, light fire on it, man. Okay, let's put the word out. Come on, get something out brand new. But yeah, life happens.
Yeah, true.
Everyone is like, for me, we are all married. We're all with kids, all with family, all these other commitments. It's like, so sometimes music and it's not really the first thing that's on the mind right now lah.
Yeah, that's another thing because I mentioned earlier, because we did started recording studio. Okay, me, Moki, and then one of our friend Boy.
Yes.
So we started Toonstone Studio, and we wanted to really do music, right? As our career kind of thing, right? So our business, but after a while it didn't go as well as we thought it would be, right? The thought of having a studio is nice. The feeling of being in the studio is nice, but working for getting businesses and getting profit really profitable is tough.
It's a whole different story
Yeah,
altogether.
it's tough. Yeah.
Tell me about it, man. I've been doing this for so long already. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, it doesn't get any easier. The challenge is
Yeah.
it's a daily struggle.
But at least you got some awards there to showcase. I don't have any, so
awards?
that's even worse. Who is this, Ajib? I don't know.
Hey, but awards don't really translate to. It doesn't. The saying goes. I mean, people who taught me this, was Greg Henderson, and a lot of people also say the same thing. You're only as good as your last mix, man. As your latest mix.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, sure, people will look back at the stuff you did, in 2007, 2008, 10, 15 years ago, but that's in the past.
Yeah.
How do you reinvent yourself to be
Yeah.
relevant nowadays, you see?
Yeah,
With
true.
new, not only new style of music or new sound, but even new technology.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So and with the world, with the whole digital NFT metaverse and all that, coming into music. I had a chat with Vandal on this previous episode because he's one of the big pioneers of
For NFT
for
music, yeah.
metaverse, and blockchain technologies. Phew, that episode when I sat down with him, it's basically like a miniature crash course lah. By the end of it, my head was like about to explode because, and that this segues nicely into into my next question. My next topic is to the VR and AR world which you are in right now and which you are teaching.
Yeah.
What exactly? What's it all about? Just I'm basically treat me like a moron or an idiot on the street asking you, what's it all about?
Okay. I mean, AR and VR is currently the thing, the in thing that people talk about, right? When we talk about metaverse, people always associate it with VR. Yeah, so in the virtual world. So basically, you have two type of experience whereby you have augmented reality, which is the Pokemon Go type of experience. You can see through your phone, through your camera, right? So it augment whatever it is in reality with a digital asset, digital information. And then you have virtual where everything is totally in the virtual world, totally fake, right? So so I'm teaching how design students can design and also develop, not just design only, but also build for that technology for AR and VR. Because I always believe that to be valuable, you need to have the skill to create and implement, right, and to integrate into the current working technology. For example, let's say you are designing a website. It doesn't stop in Photoshop. So it has to be translated into something which is usable, which is HTML and CSS. So it can be used to programmers and so on, right? So they can use that. So instead of just in Photoshop. So same concept that applied to like teaching AR, VR. So it's not just designing for AR, it's how you can create something in AR. It can be as simple as you scan something and then the 3D object comes out, but at least you built it. You built something as opposed to just having it on Photoshop only.
Right.
So being able to build allow you to also get familiar with the technology. Can same. I think there's also similarity with last time when I did games. So when I did games, it's not only about creating the sound effects and but it's also the ability to mix in the programming tools straight away. So you can have like dynamic mixing. You can arrange when it goes out, when it goes down there in the game engine itself, right? But so that's my take on the way I teach students. I want them to have both design and technology knowledge for them to be able to kind of like bank in on that whenever opportunity comes. So that they have that two skills that they can use. So I think any additional skill can be more valuable than just one skill, right?
Yep.
So so I'm teaching that AR and VR. So one of the things that we definitely need to have for VR is definitely the headset lah, right? And then the thing that I like about the VR environment is that the use of spatial audio, where you can hear the sound in 360.
Yep.
Again, so that kind of like blew my mind when I first try VR game and so on, because it really emphasized. Because nowadays, when we do project for games or for TV, whatever, people still have this sound last mindset. It always comes last, right?
Yeah.
no matter what company you go to, kan, mesti ada last. We are the last to be thrown into. Nah, we need sound. But anyway, so in VR, it cannot happen that way. Because you build the experience together with the sound, because it's like in the real world, without sound nothing can happen. And then in VR, even though people say, oh, we can view anywhere around, but we don't want people to view all the way around. We want them to still focus on the thing that we want to show. And then the best way to do that is not by having too many visual, but having subtle cue. Macam kita panggil orang lah dekat in the real world, kan, hey, at the back, kan. So you toleh, kan. So that kind of subtle cues in VR, and you play with the space. That's little things will bring that experience to life macam really well, as opposed to just nice visual. Right. So that makes me really went into the spatial audio for VR lah, the application of the effect of spatial audio to the experience and so on. Yes, that's it.
I mean, that is really cool, man. And that's an interesting point which you brought up, that, you know, the sound elements are the ones that help to you know, bring focus onto the experience. I was, you know, again, I was talking with another friend of mine also on this podcast, and this totally nothing related to do with VR or AR. We were talking about ghost stories, but he was also saying that actually, you know, like real life experiences lah. He's also a sound engineer, audio engineer as well. The sound is the thing that really, you know, captures your. It's not because we're talking about hantu, about ghost stories, and it seems like the people are not so afraid if they nampak, if they see the thing, okay, they can avoid. But if sound comes to the picture, that's the one that gets into the primal, you know, that part of your brain which triggers that sense of fear and everything. So you know, maybe sound has got that power to draw that kind of emotion out of you lah.
Yeah, true. No, if let's say you do that in VR, it's even worse, man. You even got surprised, like macam gila-gila punya kan, because things can appear in any direction kan. And then you can also do something like people whisper in the ear from the back, right? So so it's very, very, I think if you want to do horror games or horror movie, can if you don't feel scared in normal flat screen, you're definitely going to feel scared in VR.
Yeah, I mean, I you know, sometimes for fun, I watch some gaming videos where they play horror games. Oh boy, when you actually see it in even though it's still on the screen, but the VR is the sort of 3D experience is.
And I think one of the things that our, like I said, engineers can do here is that they can diversify their skill set. It's not only for some, they really want to do music mixing, which is fine, but for certain other people, based on my experience, that certain time you won't be able to get the income that you want. You can segue, or you can move to different production, but still you can utilize your same skill set.
Yeah.
Right. So for VR, it's the same fundamental skill set. Also but the thing that you have to consider is a bit different, but it's something that you can learn. It's not that much cannot learn at all.
What I want to get your take on this lah. Is there a demand? Is there a need for, you know, audio engineers who are a little bit more familiar? I'm, you know, definitely coming from a much more old school perspective. But the struggle nowadays, right? The thing is that most people who study audio or who get into that is, number one, is usually because of music.
Music, yes.
You know, their dream is to be, you know, if I'm not a if I'm not like a musician in a band or something like that, I'm going to be a producer or mixer.
Me too.
Yeah, me too. I know exactly, right? The feeling, right?
Yeah.
But I've been very lucky and fortunate that I've been able to do this and kind of have a very focused, specialized on this lah.
Yeah.
But it's tougher now, especially for for kids who are graduating out of or audio school or music school nowadays, because the bitter truth which hits them right in the face is that immediately when you graduate, it's like, if in music studio, no jobs.
Yeah.
No. As far as I know, like when it comes to music studios, right? Even in post production studios, also it's very hard. They don't hire full time.
Correct.
It's all on a part time basis, right? Is there a need for? Is there going to be a growing need for audio engineers and people to get into this
field,
spatial audio,
the VR thingy?
field?
I mean, at the moment, I would base on the projects that people approach me for VR, for example. Every project in VR definitely need audio, right? So therefore, if I myself over the past 2 months receive requests for 2 VR projects, so meaning there's something there, right? But I wouldn't say that it is much more popular than console game or PC games at the moment, because in order to experience VR, you need to have the VR headset, and nobody, I think very little people who's going to buy or invest on the VR headset, right? So in terms of reach, there's not many people that has that, so we have a limitation on that. But in terms of company that are trying to produce something in VR, there are quite a bit. And I believe that it might be growing, because the avenue or the projects that people approach is very got to do with training, education. It's not really gamey stuff. It's not really like entertainment stuff. But there's a lot of projects that based on that are geared toward that training and education.
Yeah.
And those need audio as well.
Yeah.
And this is go back to what I said. If you as an engineer or sound designer knows how to integrate the sound into VR, then you'll get a job.
Yeah, you have a head start already.
Yes,
Basically.
Yeah.
But the thing is that is, as far as I'm aware of right now, in terms of our teaching, our learning institutions that are both the IPTA and also the IPTS, right? Both the public and the government ones, we are way behind in teaching this.
With VR, is it?
Yeah. Anything to do with anything to do with immersive or spatial audio lah.
Yep.
We are way behind. I mean, it's like
that's true.
as far as I know, again, I could be wrong. None of the audio schools I know have that as a module or teach that as a module. Firstly, because we don't really have the expertise anyway. You need to get the expertise from overseas.
Yeah,
you
true.
need to be able to get that in here lah.
Yeah.
So I feel that where we are way behind when
because the technology is not ours, right? It's from the Western civilization, so they have the devices and all. So even for schools, like let's say you want to teach VR, they have. I know that in the United States they have like funding or allocation for their schools to buy this VR headset. So their schools and if I'm not mistaken, during the pandemic, they actually mailed the VR headset to the student at home.
Wow.
Yeah. So in our case, we still have problem with internet, right? for study at home.
All right. Yeah.
So that's where we are lacking off. In order to excel in that technology, we need to be the user of that technology. Like macam phone kan. So phone, everybody has a phone. So there's no issues if we want to develop something for the phone technology, because everybody has it and people will be able to enjoy. But for VR, there's still limitation on that. Not a lot of people has the device.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, for something to be adopted on a mass level, of course, it needs to be brought down to cost lah. It needs to be affordable. Then only the masses can.
Yeah.
So.
But in the industry wise, like factory and all, that's not a problem. They can invest on that. The problem is the consumer can. So that's why I said the the project that I received is mostly geared toward that training and then education for corporate client
I see.
instead of consumer. Yeah. So there's avenue there. So
Right.
it's either you know it first and get the spot, or you get it later when everybody that has the skill. That is going to be
Yeah.
tougher, right?
So, like, in what you teach, like, how do you know what exactly what's the audio component that you teach your students?
Currently, we haven't started the spatial audio lesson yet. So we actually created new specialization. It's kind of like a new degree for doing all the specialization type of projects. Yeah, so macam VR, AR it's going to be specialized on that particular degree. So in that degree, we have the spatial audio. So at the moment, the emphasis on audio is definitely coming out with the good sound first, right? Then you can do
to
whatever.
start with that, yeah.
Then you can do whatever to different medium, because like the fundamentals is the same. You're going to use the same source, right?
Correct. You're knowing how to capture stereo audio,
yeah.
and not even stereo audio. How to get good gain structure.
Getting the sound right first is important. Then you can do whatever. For example, if you talk about spatial audio recording, luckily I have this Zoom H4n. H2n, yeah,
Okay.
the one like look like a condenser, standing condenser mic, right? So that one actually can record surround sound, and the firmware update allows it to export to ambisonic audio. So that's useful if, let's say, you record using 360 camera, and at the same time you want to record the sound around you. Right. So then you can use the microphone or any ambisonic microphone.
That Q2 is only, what's the microphone array like? Is it like a?
This is H2n. So H2n looks like, I had never opened what's inside, but it's like a macam normal condenser microphone. Can you have two sides from at the back and the front?
Okay. Yeah. It's not the one with the external XY mic. That one.
The one that we normally see, the Zoom mic, macam tu kan. Yeah, so this one I can't see whatever inside, but I think it has a 4 microphone pointing.
Okay.
It has a mid side mic and then front and back like that.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Because you need that amount to be able to capture surround lah.
Yeah. So I think that's the cheapest way to get into surround recording, because you can use it for normal recording. You can use it for surround recording. So I think it's value for money.
Yeah. They also have this one that looks like a little cone, like this little triangle. So that one is true 360. That one is true 360. That's also not very expensive though.
Oh really? Berapa?
It's less than 2K.
Okay.
It is not that expensive. So
it's doable.
I have I've been tempted to try it out. I actually wanted to. There was one project that wanted to try it out, but supposedly to get the whole band to, they want to do a little, but it was only for like one song. So it's like, do you guys want to commit to it or not? If you want to commit to it, then I will go and purchase the mic. But it's like in the end, it's like it didn't fall through.
So you wanted to do a 360 punya live recording, is it?
The idea was that they wanted to do that lah. So it's like, okay, I propose you guys can do this, I can go and get the mic. But in the end, they did not. They didn't want. So
that would be interesting experiment. You can.
So hey, any bands out there, if you want to do it, it can be done. It's just whether you want to commit to it or not lah.
Like, even without the microphone. So let's say you want to do a 360 ambisonic type of mix, kan? You can do that lah, macam if you have that plugin to control panning for 5.1 kan, it's the same lah. But this one is going to be, you can have like macam top, bottom, you can drag it up and down.
I've got that as well. So try again lah. I demonstrated it using that, but that one is a little bit more leceh because it's a lot of post work. So you record as usual. But then you have to
the mixing part is much more complex lah, to give the real punya ambisonic punya the 360 sound kan. So it has to you have to take time to really design your story, macam mana cerita the sound going to come in and so on. I tested one using Laila's launch song called Perindu, but still, I mean, I tested to only few people that come last time to the exhibition.
Oh.
And then some of them, probably they're not really music enthusiasts. They probably don't really notice the difference that
Okay.
much, the effect that much, right? So, but that also tells me that I need probably to exaggerate certain things a bit more in order to get it pop.
For demonstrator lah, yeah.
Otherwise, they'll just hear as if it's in a concert hall or something like that, right?
Is that something they can check out? That
It has to be on the VR headset, the Oculus.
Oh.
But I have not published it. But I will
Okay.
probably plan another exhibition, and then I'll have it up there lah, in the in Taylor's.
because it's so exciting, man. Because the possibilities that are there, and of course, our interest, my interest is always geared towards music.
Yeah.
So the possibilities of things like Atmos, right? Dolby Atmos. We talk about ambisonics and all that. It seems, I mean, there were a lot of detractors and a lot of naysayers. They still are,
Yeah.
but more and more people are,
Yeah.
at adopting this. And
Yeah.
it seems an important thing is the manufacturers are committed to it.
Yeah.
You see, so I think that's a good sign. When you see that the manufacturers are putting up products that will support this,
Yeah.
because the thing is, with all these these immersive formats, you
Yeah.
don't need like 5.1 speaker anymore.
Yes,
you just
correct.
need headphone
Yep.
or soundbar.
That's the thing that really capture my attention when I use VR lah. The experience and also the sound, right?
Yeah.
By just using the headphones, you can hear like really 360. On top, it does sound as if it coming on top, but macam off a bit lah. Kan it doesn't really exactly macam you have a whole dome speakers macam tu
Yeah,
kan.
that one you actually need a physical
360,
speaker, yeah.
yes. But I mean, it's close enough lah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
you still can how to say experience that. Yeah.
But you're right, like you need to exaggerate. I think like
Yeah.
the like when they rolled it out for Apple, Apple Spatial Audio last year, the samples, the demonstrating the use that they a lot of the musicians, like the audio engineers, didn't like it because I think it was over exaggerated lah.
Yeah.
But maybe you're right. That's a good point. I never thought of it. You
I
kind of
think-
have
yeah,
to.
because if you want to show it and you have to make it obvious, then we have to exaggerate.
Yeah.
My approach was very music mixing type of approach. You mix
Ah.
this here at the back, here at the back,
Yeah,
and then from time to time we try to pan things around a bit, right? But I think it's not noticeable
Yeah.
to regular listener.
The
kan?
average layperson lah.
So it has to be exaggerated to emphasize the effects.
You're right, actually. So I never thought of it because
Yeah.
when I first, like I said, when I first heard when they started pushing it out, I was annoyed, and a lot of the audio forums are people like they're saying that it sucks, it's terrible.
Yeah.
No, but actually you're right. In order to demonstrate
Demo,
it, in real life we would never probably say lah.
Yeah.
For musical purposes, you will never mix it that way.
Kan.
Yeah.
So I need to go off a bit from the music mixer mindset and try to be add in a bit of sound designer type of mindset there as well. Kan? So probably can emphasize it better. And I think macam due to this VR metaverse thingy, the spatial sound technology is getting more important because there's no other way to go around VR unless you do spatial audio.
Yes.
Kan? So
Yeah.
so by hook or by crook, whether people like it or not, whether people will adopt it uniformly in the future or not, we need to know. Kan? If let's say they adopt it, we know already.
Yep.
Kan? Macam tu lah. So macam gamble lah kan. So
Yeah, that's very cool. I don't know if you listen, but I've listened to a couple of podcasts with Mark Zuckerberg recently. Really cool to hear what Mark's plans. I think he's putting out a new model of the Oculus soon.
Yeah.
I think for October.
I think that's the higher end one, if not mistaken.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Then he was also talking about the more AR related stuff, and then I didn't even know that Ray-Ban actually has this kind of smart
glass, yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
wow, okay, that's cool, but creepy also because Yeah, because you can actually be recording people without people realizing it.
Yeah.
Actually, there's an LED lah, but yeah,
Jadi macam spyglass lah.
yeah, like Spike. I mean, there's so many interesting, areas, man, that could be opening up for music, audio, sound,
Yeah.
and also I also listened to this also quite a recent episode. This is with Dave Mustaine of Megadeth. I didn't know that they actually are one of the pioneers when it comes to immersive audio concert
Oh yes.
during the pandemic. Wow, they actually won an award, right? I think it was either last year or 2020 from, like, here we have the ad agency awards for best thing, right? Usually this will always go to the ad agency
Still,
or a particular brand. Oh, new experience. But they won. Megadeth won an award, like this kind of a creative agency award for the best. Basically, their immersive audio thing lah. So basically, they did like a limited run promotional package where of their concert. Megadeth. So it's like. These are like old times, but they are still, keeping up with the times.
Yeah.
So they actually won an award for that.
Nice.
But that's a very limited edition thing. It does ship. Apparently, it does ship with a headset
Oh, okay.
and whatever lah. You don't know what DVD or whatever. So it ships to the thing. So I can't really get it anymore. It's really like it's very limited edition thing.
Wow, that's good if you can have a listen to it, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe like when the cost needs to come down, then it becomes a little bit more viable. Then bands can start making that, and then shipping it where you have to ship it out with a headset. But cool lah, you like a little box set of stuff with photo book with this and that, and then also NFT inside.
So
it's exciting.
More digital value we can add in,
especially for the newer generation of people who listeners. It's exciting.
Yep.
Even though I feel old talking about this, but it's really exciting actually, the possibilities. Yeah, for music.
I mean, there's avenue there. It's just a matter of whether we want to grab the opportunity to get into that avenue or not lah. Yeah, sometimes I think the deterrence is probably one is getting familiar with the technology. Most musicians or engineers that I know sometimes not really that into the tech side that much. Some do, but I think because of that, because you are busy with your own work, and then you don't have time to spend on diving into different technology and to get good at it before you do something or you produce something, right? So that's also deterrence, not time. We don't have the luxury of all the time in the world. So maybe it's the younger generation out there should take advantage of this. True. I mean, this is probably their realm, right?
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
Well, that's one time. I think this is one of the few earlier times when I tested the VR headset. I got into this app called Rec Room. It's still available here now. Rec Room, very quite famous. I went into Rec Room, and then most of the people that I met is very young kids. It's like, sir, look, sir, what the hell? What the hell is going on? They're circling me, sir, look at this, look at me.
It's look, I just went to a gig, my first gig in like many years, right? 2 weeks ago. And boy, did I feel out of place. Although I know the bands, I work with some of the bands. But when I kind of go there, it's like, wow, everyone's really way. I'm like, at least average, at least 10 years. The average age was at least 10 to 15 years younger than I was. Okay, so it's like, okay, I just sit quietly in the corner. I just say hi to the people that I know. But I was looking around, I was like, boy, how do I feel out of place? At a gig now. At a local gig. But that's cool, that's
It's not the same environment as it was before because of the different people there.
It's a whole different generation, but it's cool, it's exciting. It was really cool to see the energy, the vibe that the people had, So,
Yeah, I used to like macam sometimes when last time when we went to gig when we are teenagers, right? Sometimes we see older people going to the gig with very macam mistoi tebal, and then we say, dah tua-tua pun nak pergi gig. That is us now.
oh, damn it. Yeah, exactly, Yeah. So, exactly, it's like what's this old dude doing in the club, kind of thing, that kind of feel.
Yeah, that's it.
So
Man.
it's all right. I tried to be as low profile as possible. I just sat in the corner and just enjoyed the music.
Yep.
Oh boy. Okay. Reality check. But but you are teaching this. How did you go from, I would be interested to know, how did you go about from, with music, and then to running the studio? How did you get into this in the first place? I was kind of
the progression.
yeah.
From what I did. Okay. Shall I start from the beginning?
Oh yeah, you feel free.
Do we have time?
Oh, we have time. No worries. Long form content is you
All
can
right.
ramble on as much as you want.
Okay, so my background is computer science, right? And then the first job that I got is at Mimos Berhad. So it's Mimos Jaring. That time it was big lah kan, Mimos Jaring.
C.Jaring.
So but I only worked there for 1 year only. So we work on multimedia type of projects, smart school, lessonware. So it's like a little bit of gamified experience for lessons, for school. And then after that, I work at PPM, Public Performance Malaysia,
Right.
the royalty body, and /RIM, and that's where I met siapa ni? Alamak, siapa nama? Jennifer Thompson kan?
Sorry, Kak Jen. Shout out. Yeah, I had Kak Jen on an earlier episode as well.
Dah tua lah Kak Jen, tak ingat nama. Tak boleh recall. So yeah, I met her there kan. At that time I was an IT executive, but during that time IT executive do all things.
Yeah.
Again, so you do design, you do whatever, and I also do the system for all of your record labels, royalty calculation. So if you want to know how royalties are calculated, so then I worked there for quite a bit, and after that I received invitation to get into games. Yeah, so there's where I start working. At first, the offer is for senior game programmer, / games audio, get sound effects sound designer as well. So that's where it start to get two things in parallel, the audio and then also the normal programming, designing stuff going on. So once I started doing that in the game company, so there's a thing when you work in a game company, if you do something for games, people out there perceive as if you are rock star, Superman. It's like macam, where you work? I'm a programmer, game programmer. So it's immediately like that. So when I said I do game programming, I also game audio. People game audio, so they perceive, they perceive it like that. So I get more opportunities after that. Yeah, so I started branching out to doing something for TV and then for radio a bit. But not much, just a little bit here and there, because I also have the programming part, so it's quite hard to balance the time, right? But I always view, when I'm stressed with doing programming and design, the sound aspect is my outlet to escape. Yeah, because it's not to say easier, but it's quite direct when you do sound. As opposed to doing programming, where sometimes you sleep. Also, you're gonna PK. Oh, how do I need to solve this? Those kind of things. But for audio, you have a target that you need to create or to achieve. Then you just go ahead and try whatever you do to be creative and achieve that target. So it doesn't give you that that same stressful experience as in programming.
Right.
So that's why I treat it as escape, and not to downplay what the industry is. It's very hard to be creative as well, kan? But compared to the stress level that I had for programming, audio is my escape.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's where I start branching out to two things in parallel. And then after that, I resigned from the company. There's issues in the game company. It's a startup, right? And then I got offered to join university as an educator because they wanted to start the game design course. And at that time, there's nobody has a degree in games. Yeah, it's very early at that time, so they are taking people from the industry to kind of build the course and teach. So then I accepted the offer to do that. So now I get to education.
Yeah.
Right. So while doing the education thing, while teaching, I'm still doing the audio thing because, like I said, audio is my escape.
Yeah.
Whatever I do, then if I feel stressful about it, I'll fall back to doing audio project. So at the same time, this is where I started Tunestone Studio with Mookie and Boy in parallel with teaching. Right. So then after that,
That's what year? Did you, like, so we have a time frame.
That the
Tombstone was in.
I know that's 2000. I think 2012. Is it 2012? No, 2012. I started at Taylor's. So meaning that time is 2008, perhaps. 2008, 2010, something like that. Yeah. After that, I straight away the parallel straight away lead me to education all the time. And one funny thing is I never thought myself can be a teacher or lecturer because I'm not the kind of person that like to talk a lot or like to speak, and I have this fear of public speaking. So every time I want to speak, I will macam stutter, takut apa semua kan. And I suddenly nak jadi lecturer kan. But I tried out because the proposition was interesting at that time kan. So I accepted the offer and tried out and ended up liking it. Yeah, because meeting students from different ages and so on is very, very interesting. Yeah. So yeah, that's how it is lah. So now I'm teaching at Taylor's full time. It has been 10 years now.
Yeah, 10 years, man. Congratulations. Work anniversary. Yeah.
That's the one thing when you're teaching in college. You don't feel the time passes by really fast because you work semester by semester.
Yeah.
Right. So one semester finish, you wait. You work for the next semester, and then suddenly 1 year finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then suddenly now it's 10 years. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Well, that's very cool, man. I mean, that's a very cool story. And
very chaotic, right? Macam sana.
Yeah.
But I do a lot of things. I have this problem like if I don't understand the technology or I understand something, I want to learn. And one thing about being in audio, it is also because one experience that led me to just dive into audio to learn more. During Kluk Kluk Adventure recording, I asked the engineer, Soon.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I think Soon, mixing engineer at that time.
101.
101.
Yes.
So I asked, normal lah, when you hear the mixing, say, hey, guitar tu boleh kuatkan sikit lah. Like that, right? So bring it up a bit. And then so she cakap, cannot, it's limit already. So that's the trigger. I want to understand, what is this limit? Why can't you just bring it up just a little bit? Macam tu kan. So I want to understand what is that limit. Why he cannot bring just a little bit. And it started me diving into a lot of things about audio. And now I understand why is it the limit.
Very
because after that, when people started recording with me, I also started to say, I cannot, that's the limit. I think the most thing that I didn't understand at that time is that whatever we perceive, we listen to the speakers there in the studio, if let's say it's loud or soft, might not be the same because the engineer knows better of how it would
translate.
Yes. Yeah. So that's, I assume that's the case lah. I assume that's why is the limit. It cannot be clipping lah. So nobody's going to macam bring it up until clip kan.
Yeah.
So I assume it because of the balance of the mix. That's why
I spent quite a bit of time at 101 or so. I did one period of internship there as well. So done quite a lot from just observing, working with Soon, with Nikon.
Betul lah. I also did the same. During the recording, I keep on observing what they're doing. Yeah. And that's also lead me to end up using Cubase because they're using Nuendo last time.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I used Nuendo first and then Cubase. Then I know you use Cubase, so
Team Cubase.
Yeah, I stick who using Cubase. Then I saw Greg Anderson using Cubase. So I was like, Greg Anderson used Cubase. I'm going to use Cubase.
Yeah. Actually, the person to really blame for, I call it the mazhab
What's up,
Mazhab
Cubase?
Cubase, right? It's actually Greg. He's the one who turned everyone on. People like Audi, Aubrey, all the ones. Then it actually spread lah. Then,
Yeah.
to me, everyone. Yeah, I think it's from him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cubase
I
VST
don't
last
know
time.
him personally, macam really close or whatever. I think I know him through Mookie, and then we met macam all together, just like that.
Because Greg produced for One Buckshot. So,
yeah. So yeah, but I observe the cool people using Cubase. I want to be cool. So I'll use Cubase.
But what do you or you teach, or what the students use in terms of DAW now?
Oh, so in design school, for recording purposes, we use Pro Tools because the studio is using Pro Tools. So they will learn Pro Tools, but only up to how to operate. So they'll be like operator lah. In that sense, they know how to to wire in the jack and then until be able to record in Pro Tools, create tracks and so on. But then they will export to their own, because nowadays they have to work on the project night and day, so they're using their laptop.
Yep.
So they export it to their laptop, and in their laptop they're using Adobe Audition, because the work that we are doing is mostly sound design, and they are doing also videos, so it's better integration for the whole ecosystem. Yeah, because from Premiere you can edit, right click, and then it will edit in Premiere.
Right.
Yeah,
I see.
and then I find that the tools for sound design and also for like macam voice recording and processing is easier. It's kind of like if you don't know much, also you can do by listening. So you can do that in Audition. So that's why we went for it.
Exactly. They're basically, but I think on their own as well, they are free to, if they have to do any work, they're also free to use anything that they're comfortable with, right?
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing now. So it's not really a requirement that they must own a copy of Pro Tools, or something like that, right? Not anymore.
Yeah, because I noticed that for their specialization, like for designers and sometimes doing animation. So the company that they are going to sometimes have their in-house production, but they're not using Pro Tools. Sometimes they're using Adobe Audition because they will have Adobe Photoshop suite, right? So it's kind of like it comes together with Adobe Audition, right? So they normally use that, and for them it's kind of like, for their field, it's okay lah, right?
Okay.
I think for audio engineers and so on, they need to use the tools that largely used in their industry.
Correct. So when it comes to the game and you're right. Actually, I'm not sure whether you met Valerie before, who's also one, also in AES as well. Her work. She's also working with a game company. Her work, even though you train in Pro Tools and all that, but in the organization. I can't remember whether they use Audacity or they use Audition.
Okay.
But they're not using a full-fledged DAW lah. It's not like you need to deal with 100 tracks and and do all that. Yeah.
Man, last time it's like requirement, right? So if you want to get into audio, no matter what field, it's Pro Tools, right? But now there's different flavor.
Not only that, if it was in ICOM, they force you to buy the whole the MacBook with Pro Tools and Logic in it. You're forced to, albeit the discounted price lah. But that's interesting to know that in some colleges and universities are also doing that. Even though they're using audio school, they don't really force their students to use a particular DAW or something anymore. So that's an interesting observation, because it used to be, must be Pro Tools. Pro Tools was and in some areas, yes, post-production still, Pro Tools is still a requirement. They need to know Pro Tools. Like film and all that, film and post still need Pro Tools. But in other areas, it's cool to see that there's a lot more flexibility nowadays lah.
Because you have that really focus on audio and audio pros. So that one I think definitely Pro Tools related and so on. But when you have this creative side that do all the things, they do audio also, they do because animation, and sometimes they just want to have very simple audio, voice over, or voice acting, those kind of thing. And so they don't need that kind of setup.
Exactly. Yeah, it'd be overkill lah.
Yeah.
Nuendo would be totally overkill lah for this kind of
Yeah.
purposes lah.
Yeah.
You know, so cool, very very cool. What sort of I mean, there needs to be a little bit. I think that like it's very clear that there needs to be a little bit more awareness on the so many different fields that are out there. It's not just about being a recording studio or writing song, recording music and singers and all that. There's so many interesting fields out there, from live sound to installation.
You shared something, I think a few days ago, about the breakdown of the field of music. I was looking at that. Yeah, exactly, because there's a lot of breakdowns you can get into. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's so many other paths that are available out there right now. What would you say would be the sort of the requirements lah, and if someone were to go into things like game audio or audio
a
for
bit
AR,
more
VR,
technology related type of thing, right?
Like what would be a little bit different from your typical audio engineer?
I would say the love of tech. So they need to be familiar with the devices or whatever medium that are supposed to be building for or create the sound for, right? Because once you know the experience, then once you know the tech, then you will understand, and hopefully you will learn also how to integrate. I still do think that additional tech skill is essential in order to like give you a little bit of plus point, or just a little bit of extra, a little bit of advantage, because at the end, like I said, if you build for games, definitely there's certain. Not all companies are the same. Some company can hire many people. Some company cannot hire that many people. There's startup that can only spend this much, and that. For the smaller company, one people probably wear different hats, multiple at the same time. So if you're audio engineer, sound designer, and so on, if you know how to integrate with the tech directly, that will be much more advantageous for you. And if you don't know, if you too specialize, then you have very narrow or very macam ruang sikit opportunities lah, kan, as opposed to more macam tu.
That's right.
That's my take lah. It might not be true, but I don't know.
No, it's actually that's the growing opinion nowadays. The reality is, like, especially for those who are graduating now lah, you need to have this multiple skill sets lah. You need to be able to need to have this diverse. Like I said again, I'm very lucky and fortunate to be able to specialize. But nowadays it's hard. You just want to specialize just recording and mixing music. Good luck. It's hard. Because the competition is so stiff. There's so many people out there doing it. And people are dropping their rates like nobody's business. So that's another whole other topic. So you need all these multiple different skill sets. But it's a tough thing lah. I mean, I only just recently did a rate rise in a long time. Which is long overdue lah. I mean, this discussion has been going on lah, for forever. And maybe it's time that, I was talking to a few other people. We had a chat. I was talking to different people at different times, but the topic came up and the same topic came up in all our conversations. So it's like, hey, so maybe all of us should agree to at least set minimum rates on such thing lah, And
I mean, you need some sort of association, right, in order to do that. Otherwise, it won't happen, lah.
Well, I think they've been trying to do this for decades. To try to get everyone to supposedly do some kind of a union or persatuan, but no one can ever agree on this, lah. So good. Okay, I mean, from a small community, there is a small community of studio owners who might want to look into this, lah. Into at some things, but to get everyone on board, it's gonna be tough. There's some interesting things that I've heard that coming up as well. That somebody is also coming out with a platform to do some sort of like a booking platform. So imagine like Grab, but for
bands,
jamming studios and recording
studio.
studios.
Okay.
but that one, that's an app that's being in development right now, according to my sources. Like I can't
Local
say
lah.
more.
Local. Okay.
Yeah, I can't say more because I don't even know any much about it anyway. But I think when it rolls out, there'll be something interesting lah.
Yeah,
Technology, man. Yeah,
I mean, that's one thing that probably a lot of studios can benefit, because I don't think most of them has a good running system.
Booking system.
Kan. Yeah.
So it's like message.
Huh?
What's that? Oh, okay. Free, free.
And then datang-datang orang lain jam kan. Hey.
Yeah. No, I mean that's cool. I mean technology can always be adopted to make things better lah. You know, that's the whole
Yeah.
purpose lah. But cycle back to that. Okay, because your background actually was in IT. So would it be beneficial to also, learn to code, to learn stuff and things like coding? Like if someone who is not from an IT background but wants to get into that.
I mean, if you ask me, I would say yes, it's going to be beneficial, but it also depends on what are you going to do for it. Yeah, are you going to do something related to coding? If not, then why? Right. So if let's say you are going to dive into the technology to integrate stuff, your audio, your music, whatever, into that technology, then learn coding, because it empowers you to do more than what you've been told to do. Right. So you have more freedom to, like I said, do dynamic mixing and so on, because you know the technology, you know how to program for it. For example,
Wise.
Wise. Yeah. I was about to mention that. the audio middleware, they call it, right?
I only know the existence by the name.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it.
I mean, something like Wise, so you can basically program it to trigger audio from your game. So you don't have to build different audio engine to trigger that, right? So you can learn that. I know internationally or overseas it's quite important, and people use that. I don't know locally whether they're using that or not. Yeah, but I mean, for me, like I said earlier, any additional thing that you can learn will always be beneficial when the time comes. Right.
Yeah. We do have. Are you like in touch with like the game audio community? They used to have all these, the jams.
Not that much. I'm in the general game community, Malaysian game community called Game HQ. So these are the guys originally from education institution, and then also industry people join in and so on. So I joined that group, and so I'm in touch with some of them, not all lah, because I've been in education for more than 10 years now, right? So a lot of my industry contacts macam dah jauh kan. So but and still from time to time, sometimes we do keep in touch lah.
Right.
But not the game audio community.
No, they seem a little bit quiet, but maybe that's because
they're busy.
Online. Maybe that's a good thing. Yeah. So if they're too busy to spend time on social media, and Facebook groups, so okay, maybe that's a good thing. But it's just something that I want to always learn more, not necessarily for myself, but to sort of learn what the industry needs. It's great with your people like you who are educated, because you need to know what exactly does the industry need. Are we producing, are we producing the talents with the right skill sets to meet what the industry needs? Like I said, I think our colleges and especially the IPTA is way behind. Some of them are only starting to get into music production within the past couple of years, and this is like way behind already.
That's true as well. I mean, even let's say it's not a music school or music institution, audio in general, I find it weird when there's modules or subject that requires the use of a lot of sound, doesn't have sound design course or sound design module. Kan? So it goes back to macam in the industry as well, sound comes last.
Yeah.
Kan? So you know sound is important, but you always put it last. So in the education, some courses are like that. They acknowledge the use of audio, which is important in a lot of the production, but for some reason there's no audio modules in the course.
Yeah.
Again, so in that alone shows you how they the audio part has been much lowered down.
Yeah, there's this disconnect lah. You know, your industry, your requirements, you need this, but why is it not being taught or being trained sufficiently enough lah? Yeah.
Kan? Macam they always think that audio is senang, audio is easy. They always perceive like that, so anybody can pick up audio macam tu kan. But I mean, come on lah.
Yeah, or just cari, look for sample, drop, just drag and drop inside the project lah. No, not really, man.
Itulah.
Sometimes you need to your sound design work, your Foley work. I've been recently doing this project, and I had the good fortune to I was working with overseas people, and I see the way that they work. Not only with that, they were fast.
Yeah.
I got assets in for like a 1 minute audio animation thing in 24 hours.
Okay.
It's like it's really fast, you know. Again lah, not to this our
local
Malaysian people lah. 24 hours baru they reply my message. Yeah. Within 24 hours, I already got the assets from these people which I worked overseas. Which again, anyway, it's a whole other rabbit hole to dive into lah. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, what's your? I mean, cycle back to what's in store lah next.
I mean, you know that we just, couple months ago, I brought back iBands, right?
Yes.
So that is for archiving purposes. So there's no intention to like expand it or whatever. But I do have another version, which is the newer version. But that also I have no intention to, I don't have any specific plan for it. It's kind of like if whatever happens, it's there if you need it, right? Because the area has been saturated with a lot of similar services. Right? Yeah. Last time it works, iBands was popular because there's nothing like it. Yeah. Now there's so many alternatives, right? So I can't compete with Spotify or whatever, right? So I mean, it's a different league.
Yeah.
So I'm just putting the new version out there just to see whether there's traction, there's interest. If there's interest, then I will look at how I can expand it even more if needed, right?
Yeah.
If not needed, then I'll just keep the archive on, because the archive for me is the goal. There's a lot of valuable song, and when I started to listen to some of the older songs from different men, I was quite like macam surprised also the type of the creative quality of the guys.
Exactly, you know, and it would be a shame if those things were like lost forever. You know.
Yeah. So it's there as a museum lah, at the moment.
Right. Is there anything that that you're looking for? Are you're just letting it see what happens to it?
Yeah. At the moment,
what would you hope for? Would you hope for like somebody to invest or sponsor? Or
I mean, if there's somebody interested to invest, then we can talk. But at the moment, I do feel that I want to just go with the flow, see whatever what happens. Because whenever you build something, it must have a purpose. Because currently the new one, I don't have a specific purpose. Yeah, because any other solution or service provider out there already provide something similar. Okay? So unless I know what to aim for, the purpose, then I'll start work on it more seriously lah.
Purpose, man.
Yeah,
purpose is meaning.
Yeah, because last time for the old iBand, it has a purpose.
Yeah,
it's clear purpose what it's all about. But now, it cannot be the same purpose. It's no longer relevant. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. When you say the word purpose, I remember. It just brings me what comes to mind is, Agent Smith and his rant about purpose. Without purpose, without meaning.
That one is very deep, man.
Anyway, I digress.
I think I have to watch that several times in order to understand. Especially that's one scene. I think that's not Agent. The one that I watch multiple times over again is the one that's in the white clothes man,
the architect.
The architect, that
the
one.
Revolution.
Yeah.
That long monologue.
That one is.
It's like, okay lah, Wachowskis, salute lah the way you wrote your script and all that. Okay.
Hey, you said you don't play game often now.
No, not often, not anymore. Not many people know. I think you saw just now, right? There was one game I really got into. It's World of Tanks.
Yeah.
I was actually a very active.
You have a lot of tanks there.
Yeah. So I like military stuff and all that. Yeah.
So you don't play that anymore, lah?
Not anymore. I mean, I still have an account. We used to have a local community.
Yeah. You are Von Karajan, right?
Yeah. So that's just a long.
What is Von Karajan?
Karajan. That's actually
Karajan.
Okay. That's actually he's the full name is actually Herbert von Karajan. So he is actually a conductor. He's a German. He used to be the principal conductor of the Berlin Philharmonic.
Okay.
So another area which people don't really know is that I have a classical training background.
Okay.
So before guitar, I was actually guitar is not even my second instrument. It's my third instrument. Yeah. So before that, I was actually a violin player.
Oh.
Yeah. So
okay.
Anyway, he's got a cool name. Yeah. And he was a very early adopter of digital technology. He was one of the first ones that really pushed classical recordings to do all fully digital all the way. So he's also a guy.
Okay.
A very cool character with technology lah. So yeah. So gaming was, if ever there's time, maybe.
But nowadays it's more complicated. I mean, World of Tanks lah, with all of the new features. Have you dive into it?
I still watch videos from time to time or whatever, So, but the classic game, the classic old game mode is still the favorite lah. Yeah. Developers always introduce, there's this new game mode or something. It's like still the good old, 15 versus 15 is always still the one that has the most fun and the most challenge lah.
I think now it's more macam lopsided towards pay to win. Because of the more you can enhance your tanks, meaning you need
the
money
better
lah,
your build, It's basically World of Warcraft and all that, but with metal machines lah, with tanks lah. How you build out, how you spec out your build and all that, But I'm not a play to win player. I'm not a play to win guy because I'm actually pretty good.
I sometimes I landed the same battle with you, and then I was. I don't think I had never introduced myself to you in game, so I was like, JD.
Really, I cannot remember. I don't remember this.
Yeah, I never like macam tegur you whatever in game. I just observe how JD play.
Well, I'm not like a super unicum, but I'm pretty.
Almost can you?
I think, almost. Almost a purple lah.
Almost purple. You blue blue.
Like a blue, like almost purple. Yeah.
But I do notice that your stat is high lah kan. So that's why bila nampak Von Karajan ni, macam JD, let's watch how he plays.
Yeah. But that was that's a part of my life which I've not explored in a long time already. I have not gone into it.
But you did music for World of Tanks.
Yeah, I did.
Asia,
I did. Yeah. Because they ran a competition, for like the best, the song or the best music or something like that lah. And actually, look, it was not a fair competition lah. Okay. It was not fair lah because I'm going in there as a full-time professional.
Pro,
So I wrote the piece, I recorded, I mixed the whole everything, submitted an original. So the other people kind of just like hobbyists. Right? So
the production value macam tiba-tiba
it's like
jauh
gila. So it's not a fair contest lah. Yeah. But yeah, it's cool. They used to have a local office.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have a local office, but then sadly, then moved to Singapore, and even the Singapore office no more already. Now regional office is all back to Hong Kong apparently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then I think maybe in the future, looking at how things go, they will probably get out of Hong Kong anyway. That's a whole other geopolitical thing that we got to. Even the company is not even got out of Belarus already. Right? They're based in Cyprus, right?
They sold it again.
They cut all their ties with even the Leningrad for World of Warships. They cut their ties with the Russian studios. Yeah. And because of all this.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Well, of thanks.
To end on this on a dark and gloomy tone, man. Yeah. So maybe it's a good place to wrap up, man.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very cool. I really enjoyed having this conversation. I mean, I also learned a little bit of how you, because I was always curious, how did you go from that
website apa semua
and
kan,
then into this? Then now, okay, right. I could see where that connection is lah. Maybe a couple more things. What would be, again, I think we did mention, we talked about the traits, but what would be a good advice for somebody who wants to get into, to get into this field, into AR, VR, studies and all that? What?
I mean, the advice is first is you need to like the environment that you're in, the tech that you're in. And so in that sense, you definitely need to try it out, learn how it operates and so on. Then only if you interested or you feel the connection, then it is something that you might want to get into. So because I do think that there's opportunities and very less talent that can get into especially for audio guys. Because nowadays, when I talk about ambisonic, VR audio, to engineers, everybody will be like, huh? Apa? Kan?
Even I will be a little bit, huh?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not rocket science. It's not something that really, really hard that you need a special degree to get into. Kan? You already know the fundamentals. It's just learn how to apply those fundamentals to different medium or different technology. Yeah. So, and then when we talk about technology, then the skill to build or to do something with that technology can also be advantageous, meaning if you can code, there will be additional advantage to you. That's my opinion. Some might agree, some don't, but based on my path that I've seen, it can be advantageous.
So for someone who's like a kid who's probably now just or about to sit for SPM or going to finish SPM, what would be the pathway lah? Like, what should they equip themselves with, what sort of skills, or maybe parents, maybe they want to see that, hey, this could be a lucrative or a prospective career path for their kids nowadays. I mean, I've seen kids going for science class and computer coding class as young as 3-4 years old. They're going to sign for coding class already.
I mean, I do have some students that come in the degree level that used to take programming lesson when they are in primary and secondary school. I don't know what school. I don't think it's public school. Maybe a special class or whatever. But I mean, when they have that, when they come into the tertiary level, they have a really solid understanding of how things work, how to program and so on. And then when we teach things, they immediately understand because of the prior knowledge, and they can expand really fast because of understanding. Same goes with VR, AR and VR. We still need the fundamental knowledge. AR and VR it's not like macam tiba-tiba magically wujud, right? It has things that leads to AR, VR. You have the audio part, right? So all of the components, like I said, is still the same fundamental. My advice would get the fundamentals right first. Be solid with the sound that you create, right? Then you can learn on how to apply to different medium. If you are invested or if you like dealing with technology, macam tu lah.
That's fascinating.
I don't think there's the right way to macam cakap, if you like into VR, take an audio degree in VR. I don't like things to be too specialized.
I see.
Because it might lead to you having little option. That's my my take on that. So if you're a bit general, just be ready when and when and what you want to specialize when the time comes. Macam tu. So I would view it that way. So you'll be more flexible.
It's valuable advice, man. Really, really good. Yeah.
I
I
don't
learned
know.
a lot. I mean, I learned a lot just first from, just from listening to you, and then it sparked my curiosity to, hey, old dog can also learn new tricks. Lah.
Hey, yeah. Well, it's not too late. I'm 47, man. I'm still learning a lot of things.
Yeah, that's
so,
super
so
cool.
after this, we'll see Nila Pop Shavit on VR 360 ambisonic.
Top secret plan. Okay, now you spoil the game already, right? Yeah. But I don't know. There's no plans like that. But that would be super cool, man. Yeah.
Just treat it as macam eksperimen, kan? No need to macam jadi terlampau serious apa semua, and get it to be some sort of experiment, and maybe it can pick up.
Yeah.
Maybe it can macam be the starting point for other people to get into it as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who knows, man?
Who
knows in the future, metaverses, virtual concerts will be the norm.
Yeah. I mean, they tried doing it already, right? Virtual concert and so on. Yeah.
So but and then you won't feel so awkward going to a gig being the apa ni this pakcik being there, because everyone there will be the avatar. Everyone will look young.
Yeah,
look
everyone
perfect.
will look. I've been to like some concert in metaverse lah. I mean, it's weird. It's totally weird. Yep, true.
Exciting times, man. Exciting times. How do people reach you? Social media?
Social
Instagram?
media, I only have two things: Facebook and Instagram. Oh, I do have LinkedIn. So Facebook is
LinkedIn. Who checks LinkedIn?
Facebook is Razif Mohamed.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Instagram is Razif Mohamed also, but my ID is, I think it's Grimlock.
Yes, Grimlock.
That's my nickname last time, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so in Instagram the ID or username is Grimlock.
Yeah.
But you can search, I think, Razif Mohamed. You'll find
used to be
as well.
also the ID in your iBands and Jamtag also used to be Grimlock also. Grimlock. Yeah. Very, very cool, man. Thanks for doing this.
Hey, thank you for inviting me, man.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it a lot. Yeah. So I guess let's wrap things up, man.
All right.
Okay. Thanks. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Together.